and you never come out of that state. By the time you get older, the chances of you changing because you've lived in that state of mind for so long is way slim than somebody that's younger that's been in that state, because you have a more chance of that younger person being teachable. Now, when my mother was going through what she was going through, she completely ignored all logic, no matter what position it put her in, and her rebuttal was, y'all don't know, talking to me and my sister, what I've been through. The way I read that is, okay, when it's all said and done, I feel like you put yourself in situations that you might not have been in if you had listened to those who are older than you, more experienced than you, and sometimes if you would have listened to your partner. But you want to always control things. And those women that sometimes always want to control things by emotion rather than logic end up having problems. My thing is, if you want a woman and you want to be in control, pretty sure there's men out here that will allow that to happen. But at the same time, you going against the natural order, then, where you end up is where you end up.
Understood. The next question is, does a man want a woman who, or would a man date an uneducated but submissive young woman versus an educated, older, independent, combative woman? Which one would a man most likely go for? Which one has more value? Personally, I don't think it matters whether they're educated or uneducated, because if you're uneducated, you can definitely get educated. There's really no time limit to that, especially with everything that's all the technology in today's society. But if you grew up and you are set in your ways and you're a combative person, there's no age limit on being combative. You could be young and be combative. You could be old and be combative. No man wants a woman that he's constantly going to war with. Point blank, period. Whether she's educated or not.
When it's all said and done, I agree with what she said. However, the only thing is you have to go for the majority. And when you go and talk about the majority, a majority of women, if they are educated and making more than the man, that makes a situation where submission becomes harder, because 9 times out of 10, if they're making more money, then they're carrying more of the load, and they feel like that puts them in a superior position. So if you have a situation where, you as a woman you can make $100,000 and your man is making $60,000. If y'all look at it as y'all's income versus mine or versus his, and you still have that mindset where you can let him lead, then there's probably not going to be an issue there. But as soon as, you make this and I make this and I'm carrying this and I'm carrying that, that's where the issue comes in. When that issue comes in, then like I said, it starts to take things, in a sense, out of order.
Okay. Oosh. Let's go to the next question. These are some good questions. We're only 20 minutes in. I think everybody's just listening to the questions. We got a few highs and stuff there. Usually people don't really start joining, except for Brandon. He's always here till like maybe 20, 30 minutes into the show. Do you think it is the majority to date and marry someone with or without kids? Do you think someone without kids should date or marry someone with kids, or vice versa?
Okay, one more time.
Do you think someone should date or marry someone with kids if they don't have kids?
Okay.
Or vice versa? Should they date or marry someone without kids just like they have?
In my opinion, to a certain degree, I think if you find your person, to some degree, it shouldn't matter. However, I know there can be different opinions on that and different stipulations based on, you know what I'm saying, what somebody should have to take on and what somebody shouldn't have to take on. But let's say, you know what I'm saying, I don't know. I do know. Hold on, excuse me. Let's say you have a situation where you have a woman that has kids and she has this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. Okay, yeah, there's going to be, to some degree, if you get with that woman, you're also getting with those kids, right? At the same time, what about the woman that doesn't have kids? You know, but she has, you know, some type of disease that may not be curable, and it may or may not affect you, this, that, and the other, but you really want that woman. What is the true difference? Because my thing is, you have the woman with kids that come with kids. You have the woman that has a disease that comes with a disease. They're both coming with something. And when you have this mindset that says, you know, technically every woman can come with something. Not saying a disease, not saying a kid. I mean, it could be anything off the wall. Do you really choose that, you know, rather than looking at the woman herself?
That was a good answer, and I agree. I really think that if you met your person, then it really shouldn't matter. That's just me personally, but I know a lot of people that don't have kids would rather date someone without kids. Not everyone's meant to be a parent. Even people that have kids are not meant to be. Some people that have kids, they probably were just meant to birth them kids and that's it. That's because you have a child does not mean you're meant to be a parent. So I think it matters like on a base to basis thing. It really depends on the person and their dynamic. You feel me? Okay. Question number 10 is why prideful women are bad for relationships. So I guess the question is asked, do we think prideful women are bad for relationships? Only when you let the pride get in the way. And that's for any relationship, whether it's a working relationship, a romantic relationship, a business relationship. If you let your pride get in the way, then yes, it can be an issue. But I feel like everyone has pride. It's just, are you able to put that pride aside?
Here we go. Pride comes before destruction, and a haughty or uppity spirit before a fall. So, when you're prideful, your pathway is destruction. I'm done.
I knew Brandon was going to have something to say. He's calling you preach. Yep, listen. It fit, so it fit. I need you guys to participate. I see a couple of you guys are watching. What do you guys think about these questions? What do you guys feel? Hi, Alyssa. Where are you from? Alyssa is from Virginia Beach, Virginia. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening, Alyssa. What question did you hear that you wanted to comment on? Okay, so she's saying that she doesn't think women lose value as they get older. Why don't you think women lose value as they get older? She said, with today's modern society, women can have a child at any age. I don't agree with that because, yeah, you have older women having kids, but it also puts you extremely at high risk, a very high risk pregnancy. There's no guarantee that the pregnancy will follow through or that you'll be able to carry the baby to term. There's a lot more risk when you're older than when you're younger. No risk is still there, but you're less likely to, I guess, go through them statistically when you're younger.
I feel like just like any sickness, the younger you are, the better your body will actually bounce back. You know, it's a proven fact that as you get older, your heart rate actually slows down. That's why if you listen to the heart rate of a full-grown adult versus the heart rate of a baby, the speed at which the heart beat is completely different. Mm-hmm. Because it's fresh, it's brand new, this, that, and the other. Now, when it's all said and done, having a baby when you're young versus having a baby with when you're in older age, it's not saying that you can't do it. It's just saying that you're not going to bounce back the same way. And once you don't bounce back the same way, then those things that I guess, those qualities that a younger woman would have that older woman would probably no longer have.
Good point. She said, of course you would feel that way because you're a man, but there are other ways to have kids. There's infertility, there's fertility clinics, there's surrogates. Okay, but that's not you actually having kids. I hear what you're saying, but that's not you actually carrying the baby. There's nothing wrong with adoption. There's nothing wrong with any of those methods. We're not saying there's anything wrong with them, but that's not what the question is asking. The question is asking if a woman loses value as she gets older. And we're thinking about in society, what's the majority of society think, feel, or believe about that? And the answer is statistically yes. It is shown that not only do women place lesser value in themselves as they get older, men do too. It's not just women that men that do that. Women, a lot of women feel like, oh, if I'm not saying that it's a popular opinion, but I've seen several different podcasts. I've had several different talks with women from all walks of life, all ages, that when they're with somebody, say this person does not have kids, but they do. They want to be able to give that to that man, but they can't because of age. They want to feel younger. They want to feel more beautiful. They want to feel useful. If